Hello and welcome Overwatch fans. We are here live with a 5 out of 5 of Contenders EU Trials presented by the good folk over at Monkey Bubble. I'm FBI Tugboat. Joined with me today is Man of Class. Man of Class, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today. It's been a good one. Like, the weather outside is not too hot, so I'm not sweating too much. The players are probably going to be sweating a bit more, and probably us as well with the games that are going on. But it's been a good week. You know, we're getting to the pointy end now. There's still some games that matter. For the standings, this game is not going to matter too much. It's going to be HSL versus Samsung, but they still can take it for the pride. And both of them have had some hiccups this entire week. HSL hasn't been able to pick up a win. Samsung picked up a win yesterday, which kind of felt very unexpected. It was a pretty big upset, and sort of skewed the bracket up like above them. So I'm very excited to see what these teams can do today. If they can pull it back, if Samsung can continue that streak, maybe get a two wins. HSL can claw their way back and get a win on the board. You know, it's still a very exciting game when it comes to that, just because of seeing how they perform.
Yeah. And I think it would be folly to think that either of these two teams are not going to see each other in the future, right? The new setup of Contenders Trials obviously means that these guys will be fighting for a spot in Contenders not too long from right now, even though, again, mathematically they're eliminated from a possibility of being one of the top two teams from either group. So a lot to be said for real world practice. This isn't just a scrim. This is this is go time.
Yeah, 100%. And with the new system as well, 5 of these teams that are playing right now, I'm saying correctly, actually 7 will go down to Open Division, but only 4 will come back up. So even in Open Division next week, there will be a lot of fighting. But we're going to be fighting on Ilios now. They're coming out on the dive on the one side of HSL, and it's going to be Samsung coming in with a double barrier.
Double barrier coming through. I'm not against it for Ilios. I do kind of feel like it's just maybe a little bit forced on this one. Classic QQ Bao Ash, and then Shikari over on the Genji. A little bit of feeling out, a little bit of touchy go right now. Nobody really opting to get super aggressive yet.
Yeah, it looks like very static setup right now. They don't really want to engage hard. They want to play kind of around that point. And finally, Samsung is trying to move to that point now, Tugboat.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of presence on invincibility shield invested by QBest for the side of Morningstars on our right already. But Sir Gibson, Levi both falling. Usually 2 down. Yeah, now the main support as well. Do believe Morningstars has taken first point.
Very nice first take, and they finally made their move. Like we said, they went to that objective where they kind of thrive. They're double barrier comp. They don't need to be in the open area where the dive thrives. They need to be in that enclosed area, have very limited lines to span towards, and then they'll generally get their value that they need to. But in Ultimates, it's actually looking to be ADM and Kage that are taking the lead here together with Snape on that Ana.
Yeah, big things coming through from them already. Looking at Adnar, what, up to 70% versus Levi's 40, so progressively doing a little bit better than his counterpart. Early Bob here from QQ Bao actually kind of looked like maybe of a stress ult because a lot of pressure provided by the ADM Winston, but just like that, Morningstars put a bow on this team fight again. Only one ultimate invested. I don't think QQ Bao really got too much for it.
I think they got 1 kill out of it, and at least they survived. Like, they didn't die. So it was probably a very good, like you said, a reactive self-defense move that worked out in their favor. And that's how you can really hope for sometimes with that Ashe. But right now, we're going to be seeing quite a few dive ultimates ready. And that's what dive's been about. Cycle the cooldowns. Just don't die. And then when the ultimates come up, that's when you make your move. But now if Kage goes down...
Gravitic flux out, ADM pulling that Primal Rage just in the nick of time. Very, very low, though, just getting absolutely focused down by a cadre of Morningstar members. Now, 80%, this is HSL that's really going to have their work cut out for them trying to get onto this next. The ADM switch on the ball now.
They have to touch somehow with only 12% left. It's not going to be a lot of time. It will be coming up here where Samsung has quite a few ultimates to invest still, but that Nano Blade could make all the difference. That really needs to get something. It's really their only win condition.
Sir Gibson going to be looking lordly on this. There's the Nano, there's the Blade, screaming it out. That's 1, looking for 2 now. That's QQ Bao down as well after QBest did fall. Snap managed to find the other support through this, and after a lot invested, I do think that HSL is going to be able to take this. They got their main support and a couple tanks on point, and that's just going to be Cookie on the other side so far. He's not for lack of trying though. So got a lot of damage against him. Cage actually taking out Cookie on the way out. HSL going to be taking this one at 99. So not any releases able for this HSL squad.
Oh, the relief is hard to come by now. You only have your rally, and there's going to be so much online for Morningstar soon. It's going to be very hard to hold this one. But with some early aggression and some early picks, maybe they can still do it. They're already onto WeQ here.
Yeah, this is an HSL squad that has to get wonky and do something unexpected right now. That surprise factor, something they could really use right now. Levi actually with the rally, and so I actually like what just happened. Morningstar just figured, hey, back up a little bit, let this rally finish. That armor's only going to be on there for so long. ADM getting up close, personal, super low is Shikari pulling that one. Main support, Snap on the Ana, being the first victim of that onslaught. Nothing really after that one yet, after WeQ now pulling that grid of X-Flux, getting advantage from it. Tank down on this one as we're on board WeQ now, pushing on to point. We've got Bob and more, an entire 7 players for the side of Morningstar if you count our Bob. And, yeah, handed team win now. ADM on ball, might be able to touch, not going to happen.
Unfortunately not. Was ready with that minefield, could have maybe stalled out for a bit longer. But when the percentage is that high, whenever you flip that point, it's going to be hard to come back in as the other side. So Morningstars take that first point in a very convincing fashion. And now that we go to Well here, it is a slightly different map type. It's a very different geometry. The double shield doesn't have as many corners to just hide in. But I'm still expecting HSL to go in with this dive-esque composition. Not sure if that's the right choice, but at this point, it's a game that it doesn't really have anything on the line. So they can be a bit more experimental. They can treat this as a live tournament experience, almost like a scrim. And I think that's a very nice chance for them to get, and we can see more potential. They can let go, take the risks.
Shikari and it's Cage both utilizing that Symmetra to get a little bit faster. Like you were saying, though, this is a serious game and they can be treated as such, right? May not have ultimate implications and not necessarily going into trials this time for either of these two teams based on the math to it, but still going to be awesome practice. They'll see each other again soon. Point opening up about 5 as we see rotation from Vendetta trying to get something going on a flank here. Cage assisting a little bit, but this ball is just getting absolutely focused down. Cross point damage coming out now from QQ Bao, getting these shots all over the place, and Rig on the other side almost paid the price for it. A lot of pressure against ADM as this is Morningstar is really just shutting down point.
Yeah, Morningstars gets that first control point, which they sort of have to with that double berry composition, because they're the ones that needs to be defending all the time. Shikari gets that kill on the Vendetta. This fight is still semi going on, but the dive seems to be very uncoordinated and doesn't really have a target to go on.
I 100% agree with that. Like, I can kind of dig the split push on this, but dive really thrives, obviously, on pressure and focusing, right? That's just not something we've really seen from HSL. The Winston, in large part, is also getting shut down a lot between the Brig and the QQ Bao Ash, really getting things done. Cookie's pulls is only gonna continue to do nasty things for him. And wow, Vendetta gets absolutely rejected trying to come on in here to grab a health pack, and just like that, there's a strategic pause from one of these two teams. We're done. We're back in.
Weird one.
Triple purple up against first 3 members of Morningstar. That's QQ Bao, Shikari, and Cookie. But unfortunately, it just seems like kind of thematical for HSL. They seemed like they had a good position. Was not really able to get too much done with it. Both the DPS core for the side of HSL deleted, and after 12% going back on over to Morningstars.
I would really like to see HSL trying something with maybe like a Lucio Moira. We've seen other teams that run dive, run that support line, and the main thing you get out of that is not just the healing, but it's mainly that speed boost. It just completely overruns the defense. That up-tempo approach can sometimes completely make a defense mistime it, and that's what HSL really needs, because the timing has just been so easy and predictable for them.
Cannot agree more, and they're getting farther and farther away from a point where they can go without a speed boost, as we're hitting it now about 65. Couple ultimates invested here from Morningstars, and that's just going to make mincemeat of an entire HSL squad. Yeah. There's the team kill bell now.
You could even run a Baptiste at this point, to be honest. I think it's very hard for Snapbait to really get the value. They're going over to that Lucio now.
There you go.
It might be a bit late. Or the Baptiste. You know what? Whatever. I mentioned both of them. I count it as a win. I count that as a win. Going over to the full double. So they're actually going to just mirror this composition for Morningstars. I think that's fine. It's obviously a little late, ultimate-wise, but they'll have a rally.
Yeah, here's the Supercharger up from Cookie first. Rally on the other side to try and negate that one. But Sir Gibson falling early. Levi following suit. Going to lead to an HSL team that is down, what, 3-6? Nope, now 2-6. This one's handedly going the way of Morning Stars. So what we saw, 150 for their side earlier, and now 112, doing a little bit better on the second map of Helios.
Very nicely done from the Morning Stars. Of course, after their performance yesterday, we could expect them to really pull something out here, and HSL has been dragging a little bit. But again, when the stakes aren't as high of, oh, we can still qualify for trials, maybe that's when HSL lets go, right? That's still what we're waiting for. We're waiting for HSL to just play like they play in the scrims. Because we get the insider info, we talk to the other teams, and everyone is surprised at how sort of poorly HSL has been performing. It's
That's
not
fair.
like they're a bad team. They have a lot of players on there that we've seen quite a few times. Snape has been a menace in the past. Sir Gibson, Kage, Vendetta, Levitate, playing on the Levi account here, but like they're players that we know, players we're familiar with, and players that should basically know better. So I'm personally very disappointed in how they're playing right now. But then again, I think a lot of it also is on the Morning Stars. They've definitely been putting up their performance. Everyone's been saying they did so much better in the scrims. What's been happening to them this week? And then we had the interview yesterday with them, with Cookie. And Cookie was like, yeah, we were so nervous the first 3 days. And then yesterday or today, we're just like, we just let it go. And we just relaxed. And we played like we play in scrims. And they beat Dreadlords 2-0, which was a pretty big upset. So that's why I really want to see HSL maybe do that same thing, where they either go for something really wacky, or they go for something that maybe they haven't practiced, or they have practiced, but they need to let go and just let it happen, rather than they go for the autopilot play, rather than the we're gonna overly try hard play, because often that just works against you.
So I guess just kind of the idea of adding extra pressure to yourself, you know, like evaluating situations just a little bit, you know, a little bit more like what thinking about doing instead of just doing so much, right? These, like you said, these are very experienced players, and in a lot of ways, a lot of the competition is going to be just kind of reactions, and at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to coordination, but mostly communication. How these teams talk to each other in game, how the callouts come, and how well the IGL is led. You know, or how well the IGL's the in-game leaders follow it, I guess I should say. Yeah, and I really don't. I mean, yeah, we're just calling like you see it. You know, I think sometimes casters get, you know, unnecessary flack for being negative, or whatever else like that. But man of class, like you said, man, this is an HSL squad that a lot of people expected things from, and just on paper, they have not picked up a map. This is now their fifth game, or this is now their fourth game, excuse me. Haven't picked up a map at all. Yes, it's only first to two. Yes, there's not going to be a whole lot of maps being played. That's just math. That's just numbers. That's just on paper, baby. Nothing we can do about that.
It is still a low data set, like just not that much that we've seen from them. But with the current like level that we see in the European region, with all the teams that are to get back in, and with actually less spots in trials next time around than there are now, HSL don't have that much time to improve. So every opportunity they get to have a good game, to get a good thing going, is very nice for them. And right now, I think a lot of it is gonna lean on the tank line, because I do think the DPS falling are mostly subject to ADM and Vendetta going in very early, going in a bit of a weird situation. We saw Vendetta multiple times just roll straight into the Brigitte on the other side, get stunned up, completely taken out. And those are just mistakes you're not supposed to be making. You're supposed to be cycling those cooldowns in a very organized manner, and just make sure that you actually get value out of your Wrecking Ball, that you're uncatchable, you're a slippery little hamster, basically.
Yep, it's hard to grab a ball, that's for sure. I want to kind of like reiterate your point there. Like, it's just so big for these dive teams to get it done, but a lot of times the kills just simply were not finished. Now, I think we failed to mention this, the tier 2 stuff, the hashtag.
Yeah, we'll do that in a little bit.
Gotcha.
We're already in Blizzard World. Next map's already started. It's a mirror match, and it's going to be HSL on the attack, double barrier with that Genji Ashe on either side, and of course the Baptiste and the Brigitte. And mirror matches, we've seen them a lot, especially on Blizzard World. I'm not too surprised to see this. But Morning Stars has been looking better and better on this map as the week went on.
Yeah, this is Overwatch, so mirror match definitely do happen. Maybe one day, but QQ Bao and company, doing a good job of defending both sides, kind of the dual front so far. Sir Gibson now looking to get up close and personal and involved, and they just made a huge mistake, HSL did, by letting Snap get that wow, get that Baptiste ultimate off. So, but excuse me, I spoke too soon. Shikari and more absolutely getting it done. HSL waking up and getting a lot of kills on this one. QQ out from the top, this aerial advantage we felt all day long.
The one positive there is they do get Q-Best in a very late stagger. Like, they get basically one of the last people to die there. So they have a quick re-engage. They'll be able to do it before that Baptiste is there, which means they'll have immortality field advantage, healing advantage, but they still won't have that snappy ult. Like you said, that was used very early, unfortunately, so they won't have that one. But still a good shot if they can attack quickly. Because it means Samsung is on, or Morningstars are on the defense now. And
I'm with it. HSL, all ultimates up, except for what? Yeah, except for two basically, one at 87, one at 65. VAQ will have it in a matter of seconds. So really well equipped HSL squad right now in the mirror matchup. Opting for a different look at this one as Cage kind of shooting front and inside. QQ out falling, well-placed headshot. Sir Gibson doing nasty things in the back lines. VAQ and more absolutely coordinated out against QQ Bao. Both Bob and player deleted out quickly. Vendetta getting a solid little investment from that Gravitic Flux. And just clean up time here inside of HSL on point.
And we asked Vendetta to step it up, and winning that 1v1 versus WeQ in that Sigma Flux matchup, that is something we don't see happen often. WeQ, even when Samsung was losing, was always a bit of an outlier, like a shining star on that Morningstars roster.
Shining star, I see what you did there.
Well done from Vendetta to clutch that back. And with that start, HSL is looking very good to put their stamp on this map in the future if they keep this pace up.
Yeah, again, we're going back up top. We've seen a lot of this already in Contenders EU Trials, especially the games that you and I have casted together. Morningstars has done nasty things up top, but HSL, I think, especially the way they've been playing already, it would be interesting to see if their coordination stopped from up top. But oh my goodness, Cage, absolutely just threading the needle on that headshot. Shikari falling early, so no blade for them for the time being. Now here comes both support ultimates for the side of Morningstars. Nobody on point, but they don't actually need it quite yet. Snap gonna be the one who's getting headshots on this one. Cage finishing out QQ Bao, his counterpart. This is a Morningstars team that's doing great things aerially, and HSL playing from behind the time being. Adnar just finishing his rally now. Player is on points for me rounding around the Python terrace. Morningstars refusing to come up from up top, and here comes the blade. Shikari getting stuff done, but it's Sir Gibson who's going to be slicing and dicing more so. A lot of kills going down, the HSL falling.
Ooh, Shikari not getting that much value out of the blade is something we have been seeing consistently, even when they were winning. Was Shikari that wasn't getting great value, so it's a good thing that Sir Gibson got the value for HSL, and they just cruise that payload towards second. Already going to the third, 4 minutes and 5 seconds left, and they even still got a few ultimates left. Although I will say Morningstars are coming up on a bigger bank, so they should be able to start rotating these defensive ultimates and get a bit of a hold on. And on third, that's the place you do it.
Yes, sir. Morningstars is absolutely having all the time in the world after HSL started with a solid little defense. Here comes the Gravitic Flux, though. Really just gonna kind of be a disrupting ultimate on this, as we do have one Morningstar player kind of sectioned off to the right, but that's Cage. He's gonna be happy to be there for right now. Gravitic Flux against the side of Morningstars, and WeAQ actually having kind of a similar performance on this. Those HSL got a lot of damage off the top, but Vendetta kind of repeated the effectiveness of that ultimate. Sir Gibson, though, big blade, gonna get punished for it at the end. Yeah, right? He got that in 65, 70 seconds. I guess that's just what happens when, you have this team. Yeah, Morningstar just absolutely blazed through this first point, with actually get more time after unlocking it in the hybrid. And again, getting through this corner right here is huge.
Very much ahead of Shikari in that blade charge. Shikari will have him for this fight, but there's a lot of ultimates out already. There's the blade from Shikari. Can they get the value this time? So far, it's only ADM getting the kill, but there they go.
ADM falling immediately afterwards. QQ Bao and Shikari doing great jobs of continuing on that pressure. Nobody fell through the thick of things either. That was a Q-Best. Yeah, that was a Q-Best amplification matrix involved. But this is the main healer on the side of a double barrier squad, and they'll be getting that ultimate back very quickly. QQ Bao seeing his counterpart across the way. Cage has been doing great jobs of getting headshots so far. We'll see if that continues as the invincibility field invested. Q Bao Bob now being the place where QQ decides to put his attention after members fall, so not 100% sure on that one. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. This is a Morningstar squad that's still pushing on. A very long team fight here, Class.
I don't know if you can really spell as team fight still. It's just a lot of poke until they can regroup here. They do touch the cart in time. WeQ now ready. And not with the Flux. That's Vendetta coming out with that one. But Morningstar's kills. Nicely done.
Stop there towards the end. So I want to ask you a question while we have a little bit of time here. So Bob comes out other side. The brig is either dead or not, right? I think QQ Bao, any Ash knows they're not going to be able to headshot a Bob all the way down. They're going to be alive for quite a while, and that shield from the brig would only last so long. So was that a good decision, or should have just maybe repositioned and gotten damage off on somebody else in a different way?
Usually really depends on what other resources you have available. If you have the supercharger out especially, that Bob actually melts quite quickly if the rest of the team focuses him as well. That's what you saw happen on the other side. Morningstar's just using the supercharger QQ to melt down more HSL. There's the blade, Sir Gibson over the top.
From the top indeed, looking to dunk on multiple members. He's gotten a lot of damage, but it's mostly going to be WeQ and Cookie getting those finishing blows. Still swinging away, though, and that's going to be HSL's, I think, first team kill against Morningstars. At least the first team kill Bell, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. They had 4 minutes coming into this point. Now only 45 seconds left.
Yeah.
And they do have some ultimates to work with. Not that much on the side of Morningstars here. The Morningstars are going to have to try their best to aggress early to get those ultimates up, especially that Bob Flux. They need to just get online. Otherwise, this could be a rough fight. And
Morningstars is on the right, right?
No, they're the white team.
I've been calling this backwards.
There we go. It's gonna be Bob going in first though, Tugboat, and there's the rally as well.
Sure. Last little corner here gonna be huge. Bob taking the attention of our Ashes again here as a lot goes down. Morningstars on the left, HSL on the right. Excuse me. 10 seconds to go here. HSL doing a great job of pushing this one on. Gotten a lot of distance, but and had a lot of time going into this. But like you said, Morningstar doing a great job on the defense. A little cleanup action here as HSL looks like they've been getting it. There's a rally. There's another support ultimate for the side of Morningstars, and that's going to be them rolling on in on overtime. The ball getting booped away for the time being. Half a meter away. Tracer's back. Going to be stalling out for just a second, but that's not going to be enough.
No, and HSL does manage to complete the map here, which is already looking so much better than they were on Ilios. Might have just been the early morning jitters. Maybe, I don't know, early morning is, of course, 8 p.m. for them mostly, but, you know, still, you know, the gamer life. And
it's 2:30 over here. That's early for esports, right?
It's called the warm-up jitters. That's what we do. But honestly, I'm very happy that HSL is able to show this. They went way more for this standard meta composition that we've been seeing, not playing the dive. And I do think that there's a potential that that dive on the first map on Ilios was just something they were trying for that live tournament experience. Maybe if they win a series, we can ask them afterwards. But for now, all we can really do is wonder about that. For now, though, we're going to have to see what HSL can do in their defense, but most of all, what Morningstars can do in their attack. Because we know that they're good on defense on Blizzard World. At least they used to be. But are they going to be able to match that defense's performance on their attack? Because, of course, they have to complete the map, preferably with over a minute left. And then they'll be able to go for that extra tick and win the map outright. For now, though, they have to first think about getting first point, second point, and third point. And not miss out on any of those. And they're gonna go with the same old thing. It's the same old meta v meta composition. Mirror it up. Mirror on the wall. Who is the most meta composition of them all? Well, it's both. So.
I hear you. And again, the QQ Bao Symmetra just used to get team out there a little bit faster. It's saving a few seconds. I'm not against it, right?
Crossfire though, because you see the Ashe going up through main, and that means she'll have a different angle than the rest of the team. Can potentially snipe someone on high ground. They will immediately back off on the side of HSL here. Don't want to deal with that Ashe crossfire.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, didn't get that much spam in though for the defense. That we usually see why they hold up there for the spam.
That's a very good point. Like usually we just see a lot more interaction from up top and at least some starting flak damage. So getting it going already. Morningstar's been on with QQ Bao for a while, and as soon as he peeks, got treated with a nasty shot. Had to force back a little bit, but he's back. He's good. He's ready to go. He's ready to click heads. There's the first one. Shikari down. One of the damage now for Morningstar is not seeing the end of this team fight. So we Still see Kikubao. I like what he's doing here, but these double shields are just negating a lot of what he can do. And just like that, Cookie, Levi, both done. 2 shields not going to be on the field for the time being. A Bob comes out from Kikubao, but really just serves as a distraction because, again, these 2 shields providing a lot of cover for the side of HSL, who is on the defense in green. I'm mostly just saying that for myself at this point.
Exactly. It's no problem. The stream has nice overlays. We don't on our feed, so I'm sure they'll understand. Nice recontester. Oh, maybe they can actually get something out. Sir Gibson with the Blade gets that 1 kill on the Adnar. With both teams having limited members, this could still be a retake from HSL, especially if they get the kill on the Shikari there.
Okay, he actually gets him with the shield bash to the very, very end, and the other Genji stays alive. I like it. Sir Gibson is still gonna see the end of this team fight. The Snap's invincibility shield gets invested and deleted instantly. WeQ, Cookie, both gone. The Morningstar's tank core now done, and HSL has won this. So I like that investment of the Genji blade. You know, Sir Gibson's already back up to 40%, and they might have lost first point.
Yeah, we once again see Morningstars come into these type of fights where they keep losing members at very inopportune times and maybe even unnecessary times. So Morningstar's pathing and routing on the attack just needs to be a bit cleaner in order for them to get in here. And right now we do see HSL capitalizing on that very beautifully. They know exactly when they can go in and they know that they can retake.
2 ultimates will be coming up soon. Kikubao is not far behind. Here comes the Gravitic Flux, though. This is HSL looking to get it done quickly. Snap done, though, so main support deleted. This team fight going to be a little bit harder, and that's up until Cage and Sir Gibson getting a couple of their own. That was all Morningstars in the left side of this kill feed. Now going to be ending out. I do believe that's all but a team kill. Adam switching on over the ball. Going to guarantee he's not going to get back there in time.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for HSL because they were holding really well, but they just pulled out the Gravitic Flux very early. Maybe they just wanted to force that Immortality Field and then do something else, but they never got a chance to really follow up on it with anything else. Because the Immortality Field was there, Gravitic Flux, just everything afterwards got healed back up. And that means that they use a lot of cooldowns in order to, well, not have anything to say for it. Now they're already going to be pushing up the Morningstar, up the high ground is Morningstars. HSL already holding there, of course. With a nice dynamite, Kikubao is gonna get some toasty ult percentage.
Absolutely. Yeah, that really does do fantastic things for the Bob build-up. Now Sir Gibson pulling out that blade, making mincemeat of multiple members of the Morningstar squad. This is HSL still a rolling.
Yeah, we're really looking at the value matchup, right? How much value does Sir Gibson get versus Shikari with the blades? And right now, it's about 80% to 20%. It's not looking good for Shikari in that direct matchup. That doesn't matter necessarily. There's a very good chance that the rest of Morningstars can still do enough to compensate for that. Because I think their tank line and their support line has been outplaying the other side a bit more.
Yeah, Cookie and WeQ doing fantastic things as well. But another matchup I'm looking at is the Adnar Levi. It looks like Levi is just cleaned up the edges, just a slight, tiny bit more sharp on responses and stuff. HSL winning up top again. Morningstars has been doing a good job of keeping a member on point to continue on with their point progression, but at this, and just given them what payload is, it's going to be hard to try and get away from this team up top. Chokehold is where it's going down. The double shields invested, and wow, okay, so Vendetta, and I think that was assisted by a Brig Whip to get WeQ just absolutely flying off the back, take a little dip in that nice, beautiful water outside Blue's world.
Yeah, it tends to happen from time to time. You just get that little bit of extra damage in there. Maybe the Hypersphere touches them late when they're still in the air, and that just gets the kill credit. We will see now, of course, Morningstars come in again. They're not going to stop. I'm going to sit and spawn. But the ultimates are going to be online for both teams. It's really that blade from Sir Gibson that's the only thing missing from this fight.
Yeah, wow, and Sir Gibson falling immediately afterwards, got very low, was not able to keep up with this damage, and just like that, this is, HSL getting team killed again, so the defense falling for now.
And Shikari heard my pleas for more value, didn't necessarily get the blade direct kills, got one of them, but did so much extra damage, got the follow-up of the shurikens and the dashes and the melees. A lot of good comboing there from Shikari, and they're starting to come alive a little bit, but it's all about the consistency. Can they keep that up? Because they have a minute to get on point B, and then another minute and a half if they get there to get to point C.
Both Bobs coming out simultaneously. Little battle O robots here as Cucubao falls first. Snap actually done as well, so that's the only player that died after what? Both invincibility shields and a couple Bobs. Meter away though, so 0.01 meters away. This is HSL down bottom who's got their work cut out for them. Morningstar is getting so close and almost snatched it away without the 4 kills that they just got, right?
You are overly aggressively rotating your ultimates now if you're Morningstars. You know you want to keep that tempo up, and you will have 2 more in the next fight. It does look like HSL doesn't have to invest quite as much as Morningstars is. That's of course not necessarily a problem if you can start cycling your ultimates quicker than the other team. Then you can also use more ultimates. But so far the cycling tempo has seemed to be fairly even. So Morningstars might not be able to afford this overly aggressive ult investment.
Nice chip damage from the back by Cucubao. Well placed Dynamite as he just gets out of dodge. Sir Gibson pulling that one, starts screaming and going to town. That's 3 members now. Deleted 4. Morningstar is going to be forced to come all the way back here. Question. Do you like where Genji's at right now?
I think it's very early to still say that Genji's 100% overpowered, but it does seem that he's fairly buffed. Gibson goes down early though. It's still, you know, if you hit that headshot, it's still a very weak hero, as we see.
Yep.
But right now we're going to go see a lot of resources invested by the Baptiste, mortality shields and amplification matrices.
Yeah, both Baptiste pulling that one. Gonna be starting cooldown on that. Vendetta fallen to well-placed dash and more. Shikari and Squad gonna be rolling on in. I want to talk about the Genji stuff after this because I want to get more of your opinion. But 30 seconds in, what's going on?
Well, they're gonna have to get some pretty good ultimates out here of the defense because they only have 2, and there's so much online for the Morningstars. 20 seconds to go. The Gravitic Flux already out. The Bob as well. A lot of damage going in here, and now there's a free blade that's possible if they don't die to this Gravitic Flux.
Yeah, getting on point. That Gravitic Flux might have been enough, but Cucubao and more gonna. That's 0.000 meters away. I've only seen that a couple different times my time in Overwatch. But yeah, Morningstar just absolutely going to town. Shikari, I would say he's got at least a 1.5 KD on the blades.
Yeah,
maybe even 2, even.
Shikari's been doing better with the blades in this in the later half of this attack. And to come back to you on the point of like, is Genji like how good is Genji right now?
Yeah, and just for reference here, guys, he got triple buff between the tighter accuracy, the more damage on his shurikens, and he can manually stop his deflect. So that's kind of what we're talking about right here, just in case you don't know what we're talking about.
It's like elongated as well, and not too long ago, the fire rate of the right click, or I think in general, had also been increased. So there's just been like a buff lately, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think we really needed to over buff Genji almost to a degree to get him back into the meta, and now they can start tweaking him back down again if they want to, if they think it's necessary on the side of the developers, to make Genji still played, but not a must pick. So like the same thing they did with Echo. Echo got launched in a fairly powerful state, and then
fairly powerful, he said.
She's still
powerful.
Played. I think the main reason why we don't see as much Echo right now is because Genji is just tweaked a little bit too far to the positive side. But you know, that being said, we just will see both these teams keep playing him, and I don't think it's only the Genji that are making the difference. We see a lot of good Bobs and Ash shots come out, the Halt accretion combos in general, the Halt Dynamite combos, and even just the Gravitic Fluxes, the way the Immortality Fields are used, the rallies, the whip shots, the shield bashes, everything contributes to that. And the Blade is sometimes just a distraction. It's not even the Blade getting the value, it's the Blade being used that makes the rest of the team being able to get value. And with 35 seconds left already, HSL is going to have the very good attempt to point A, but they'll probably only get 1 shot.
Yeah, kind of a lot of time eaten up by rotating around a little bit slower. Did use the Symmetra initially to get out and save a little bit of time. That might not be, or that might all be for naught, really. Cucubao falling to his counterpart. Cage continuing up with the Ash damage. We're on board with Q and just an absolute brawl back and forth. These two players, these two teams, all the way up in each other's grills. Shikari with a nice flank. Nobody paying attention to him quite yet. Oh, nails the headshot on the way down. Snap, we'll see you later. Contesting still on point. Shikari falls. HSL getting a lot done here, but that's going to be enough. Cucubao is back, but he is not on point. In the overtime take now from HSL, they're going to get themselves a little bit more breathing room.
I think an issue that we're starting to see pop up here and there is the positioning of players. So Shikari was able to take out Kage because Kage was standing in a very interesting position a bit away from their team. So it was actually a pure 1v1 that Shikari goes for in that case. There will be an early contest there because, of course, the sooner you stop the card, the better. And Morning Stars are already on it.
Q-Pest's invincibility shield falling already. Shikari going to town. This might be everything that is needed for point number 1. Nicely done. Cage dropping on that, and again, we just see the absolute value from that new dash.
Yeah, and Kage did a very good job there of trying to get some value, but unfortunately, the Gravitic Flux comes out, it forces your Immortality Field, and then the blades get activated. It just means that they can destroy the Immortality Field and then kill everything that's in the air and then landing after. That damage combo is just unrivaled. Because you lose 500%, 50% of your HP, and then you lose, just another whatever. I don't even remember what a sword combo is. I think it's 150 what it does, like sword slash of the Genji ult.
Oh, I think it's 140.
140. It's a lot. Let's keep it at that. And even if they had the dash combos consistently with it as well,
120,
you get another,
120.
You get another 50 on it. So yeah, essentially everything is just getting one shot by that combo if you just time it correctly. And that's just a nice combo that Morning Stars pulls out there. Now they have to show it on their own attack because it seems like, yes, it's a very early defense, but they still managed to cap that first checkpoint. So Morning Stars only has to win one good fight and then pose aggressively enough to not be able to allow that recontest on point A itself. And they'll be golden. They have 1 minute 10 seconds more than HSL have. The 10 seconds can sometimes make the difference, but I think it will still be essentially one fight. And they cannot really lose anything.
Yeah, pretty much the same lineup. They got about 10 seconds more than their counterparts on their attack, but we will see if that's really going to be a defining factor in any way. Mirror matchups coming out through again. The Ashe, Genji, Orisa, Sigma, Baptiste, and then Brig. Sorry, I got confused and distracted there for a second. I thought I saw something I didn't. Rotating back around, so this is at least Morning Stars getting at this one a little bit faster than HSL did. We did see HSL and what they were ultimately able to do with it, so that is positive all the way through. Shikari flanking again, as is his default. Nice dash through, no kills from that, so no reset on it. Now there it is, not a lot more, and dashing through double shields and more is exactly what he needs done. Sir Gibbs on the other side, matching him pound for pound. Both of these Genjis almost exactly the same amount of ult charge, but this is Shikari going to town here. QQ bound Shikari have been making these guys absolutely ineffectual. Nicely done. WeaQ finishing out this Bob almost completely with the punch, not something you see every day.
Definitely not. So that first fight does go to Morning Stars their favor. Now this payload will take about 10 seconds to unlock and then about 3 seconds to move to that point where it is supposed to be in distance. So this will be another fight. HSL plenty of time to regroup there. When we look at the ultimates though, Morning Stars should have this in the bag.
Yeah, 4 on board. There's a lot of them. Everybody's screaming ultimates on this one. Nothing left in the tank and no reason to not charge through this. Lots of kills on the side of Morning Stars. They have put a nice little pretty bow on the top of this Sunday.
Very nicely done. Shikari keeps getting the value with that blade towards the later end of that map and then that second round and third round as well. Very nicely done. Good to see that they can get the value out of that. Still Sir Gibson that gets the play of the game. But we both know that Shikari pulled it back. We are going to be going into a break after this because, of course, the match is over. Samsung got 2 map wins. They won the series. But we have some other things to talk about, which is mainly, let's get an interview in. Because obviously you want to talk to Morning Stars again. They've only had the opportunity once, and now they're going to get another one. And then also, we're obviously looking towards what's going to happen next. You know, how they're looking to open division. Both of these teams are going back into that. Yeah, it's open division is also a very new format. Like before, what happened is that if you went down from trials, you got placed into open division playoffs. And open division is now a double elimination bracket. There's no more Swiss, no more 7 weeks of games. So you actually have to go through the entire bracket. I'm not entirely sure whether these teams will also just have to sign up for OD and just go through the whole thing, or whether they get placed into a lower round by seeding or some kind. It tends to happen, but it does look like we have Adnar waiting in the interview room, so we'll go to that interview as soon as we can. Of course, it's not over for both of these teams. Like we said before, they're going to open division, keep playing all these teams and all the other new teams that are not in trials right now, but might also want to fight for a spot in it, and also. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. That's going to be next week, starting next weekend, and the weekend after. That's when the Open Division is up. But Agnar in the chat, welcome to that. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, and thanks again. Well, what a match! Actually, you know what they say, "Mamma mia."
I love it. I love it.
The right reaction, yeah. Because of course, yesterday we heard from Cookie in the interview after you beat Dreadlords that you guys are very nervous in the first 3 days. Has it been like a good feeling now that you've got these 2 wins out, that you probably feel a bit more comfortable in the games?
Yeah, basically most of the players in our roster didn't have that many high-level experience, so we definitely paid off that stuff. But as Cookie said, we were playing our scrims well, we were getting confident in ourselves, and I think that actually eventually came out in these 2 games.
Yeah, so practice really coming through and being able to form the preparation that you guys had and providing value for you guys, right?
We just wanted to show that even though most of the people were not actually believing in us, through team synergy and through hard work, we could actually achieve some good results.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, a point of pride, right? Coming through and proving to people.
Exactly.
Proving to people what you're capable of. I like it. Maniclaus?
Yeah, I mean, next week you're probably gonna go back into Open Division. I'm assuming.
I think yes, we are out of the games right now.
Yeah, trials. Yeah, because the top 2 goes through, and you're not in the standings there. So, I mean, yeah, are you looking forward to the whole the new system that you don't have to wait for like 2 months with Open Division? You can go back to the trials basically in 4 weeks.
I mean, that's a good solution, so teams can keep practicing, and you actually have a way to play and get new challenges more often than just waiting for long times.
Yeah, scrims are not the same as tournament games, are they?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Definitely attest to that one. Yeah, it's the same with casting, right? Like we sometimes try to get those practice casts in, and then the team's like, "Yeah, this is a scrim." It's very different because you can't really talk about stakes. It's all really really funny because of course the game today it didn't really mean anything in terms of standings, but yesterday you did actually make sure that Dreadlords had a pretty tough task for themselves today against Fox. Was it at all something it was even on your mind yesterday or today that you actually managed to screw up the standings a little bit for other teams, or was it just we're gonna play our own game, that's it?
Like, I think the mind changing went after the match against Box Nihili, because against Yab they were on a different level. Like, we still have to close the gap with them, but against Box, especially on Blizzard War, we didn't feel they were that high ahead of us. So as Cookie said yesterday, we talked also using strong words towards each other, and we said, okay boys, now it's time. Like, we have nothing to lose. That prove people that we can actually be good. Exactly. We did that yesterday, and we did that today as well. Actually, there was two very good games, and actually close games as well.
It's that happens when the training weights come up, as they say.
Yeah.
Okay. You got anything more?
Well, I guess I wanted to ask what you thought, kind of the closest part of any of these 2 maps was. Was there any other time that you really were, heart in your stomach, really worrying about that you guys were going to lose?
Actually, yes, there is one. When HSL capped the point A in Blizzard
Very
World.
beginning of Blizzard World, yep.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't play proactively, so we gained them a lot of space, and actually was also booped off of diagram. So I tried to go to rejoin the team, but my rally was completely off timing, and they started snowballing. And actually, that was a very tough moment because we had to make double effort to make it everything in pair.
To regain full, yes sir.
Good.
Yeah, that tends to happen sometimes. What was the most fun moment you guys had in these past 5 days?
Probably yesterday, because when we were playing Root, we were just, we said, okay, boys, actually we won our first map in trials, so so
Hey,
keep it going. And we're actually very hyped. So everything came, echo calls and spam like that. Everybody was shouting, and I don't know how, I have to be honest, but that worked pretty well, I suppose.
The positive reinforcement or something. It's probably the case. But yeah, again, like congrats on the win. Thanks for coming to talk to us. Is there anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to plug?
Of course, I want to say thanks to Samsung because they gave us this opportunity at the very last second, and everybody involved in that project. I'm not saying out the names, but they know well who they are. My teammates, of course, because we're actually building some good synergy here. Honestly, like I've been in the scene for a long time. I've been in lots of teams, but this is a project that I really feel deeply.
Good.
And of course, to the production and to everybody that is actually supporting this scene.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hashtag support tier 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's
Indeed.
go.
Well, thank you again. Just have fun with the team, winding down, celebrating that you got another win, and good luck preparing for the next things.
Thanks a lot, and thanks to you as well.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so that was Adnar coming on in, give us a minute of his time after the game, and we do appreciate that. Interesting stuff, but a 2-0, clean.
Yeah. Did a good one. Yeah, honestly, they just looked very coordinated. Like I said, the enthusiasm, the calls are coming in. You can just see that back in the play where they coordinate the right plays, where they peel for each other on the first map, where finally Shikari starts to come into his own because of they're able to combine these ultimates a little bit better, and Shikari just doesn't go in alone and has no follow-up or no distraction. So yeah, it's just really, really, really nice to see Samsung coming here, Morningstars coming together like that. And HSL looked very good at times as well. They definitely had a lot of good plays. It was a shame that their first map, Ilios strategy of the dive, didn't really work out. Fairly similar way that Morningstars had issues in the past, but I'm sure they can work on that, and maybe we get another balance patch in the meantime that helps them out a little bit more. It's always teams have their preferences, and it seems that HSL might not be completely comfortable with the current meta patch, which can happen sometimes. But with that, we have that match behind us. But before we go to a break, Tugboat, there are some things we need to address here.
Yes, sir, there are. Once again, we are giving away a little bit of a LA Gladiators jersey, full jersey, as well as not one but two different skin codes for the homestands, and these will be given away separately, so there will be 3 total winners. All you gotta do is put that hashtag GLAD GLAD 4FORT2 to the number 2. And you can enter yourself in with some content, with a static picture, GIF, full-on memes, something like that. That's right, Overwatch community. We're asking you for memes. You guys do this in your sleep. We're asking you for your memes. All you gotta do is attach that tier 2 or Glad 4 tier 2 hashtag. You'll be entered in to a contest to win either Gladiators jersey or again one of these 2 codes for homestand skins, courtesy of the LA Gladiators. So
yeah, 100%. Gladiators have been so nice about it, and that's what you like to see. Supporting the little guys, supporting the tier 2. Supporting the scene, and supporting future talent that they might pick up. So with that, we'll go to a quick break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, going for the next game, which will be VASTA Gaming versus Sheer Cold. Another one to look forward to. So we'll see you on the other side. Go grab some drinks. I know we will.
Stay hydrated. Yeah. Hello and welcome back, Overwatch fans. We told you it wasn't going to be a long break, and we kept our word this time. I'm FBI Tugboat, joined here with Mana Class, and we are here live for the last day of our Contenders EU Trials, presented by the good folk over at Monkey Bubble. Mana Class, how are you feeling about this VASTA and Sheer Cold matchup?
I feel like most of us are going to be expecting Sheer Cold to just walk away with this. No contest, easy win. But fair. They are, look, the thing is, they are 4-0 in the standings. Like, they're all the way on the top. They cannot get knocked out. But that actually means that Sheer Cold doesn't really have any need to win anymore. And VASTA, since they can't qualify anymore, they have nothing to lose. So exactly. In that type of matchup, it can get very dangerous for a team like Sheer Cold to just basically lose. That being said, though, we know Sheer Cold, and I really expect them to just come out of the gate. They might play a little bit less, like, completely on point with everything, but I don't think they're really gonna drop a map. I'm happy to be surprised, though. Like, I would love if VASTA just comes out of the gate and just destroys Sheer Cold. We saw that Roar did it. They won a map against Sheer Cold, the first control map. If you can keep that momentum up, might be a very close series. And VASTA, I think they have the potential. I think they think about what type of comp they want to run. I think they think about their opponent a lot. Whether that results in the right conclusions of what to do in compositions, that is sometimes a bit up for discussion. But they've learned throughout this week. They've been doing better and better. And Sheer Cold has had that very steady flow. I mean, they've had some tough matches against both Void and Roar. But, you know, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to go into this one as heavily. They might just see it as a free win.
No, I'm with it. There's a lot to be said for the narrative behind a team that has nothing to lose, right? Yeah. And just like last time, just, you know, between Morningstars and HSL, VASTA, Sheer Cold, both, it would be folly to think that they're not going to see this team again. So any real world, you know, not scrim, not ranked, not ladder play against these players is going to be experienced. It's going to be something they can take value from here in the future. Now, getting all the way in, just like last time, we got Ilios, we got Blizzard World, and then we'll have a Temple of Anubis in the event of a tie on the 1-1 after game number 2. Now, I would really love to see, you know, a third game at the absolute least, or even a tie. You know, it is possible for the Blizzard World, and it is possible for the Temple of Anubis, you know, 2CP. Unlikely, but it is possible, and we just want to see as much high-level Overwatch as possible, though.
Exactly, and even though this matchup is on paper maybe not as close, could still end up like that. These are still teams with a lot of good players on them. Because when we never really talk about SR anymore at this point, right? Because they're just there. They're up there. We know they're good, so we don't have to talk about
better
SR.
Than me. That's what we'll say.
Yeah, but the thing is that sometimes it's good to talk about SR purely from the standpoint that these are still some of, like, the 500 best players in Europe, like in the EMEA region. These are still on the top of that list. So it's that context of, like, they're already so high, and then there's still that gap that you sometimes need to bridge. And that is really interesting to see. And we're going to see a very cool composition coming out here for the side of VASTA. A Doomfist Genji dive with that Moira Lucio. They're going to be very hard to pin down by this double barrier that Sheer Cold is running.
That's a mega dive. No ball necessary. Kind of interesting sometimes to mix the ball in there for a dive, but this one more classic. Again, outside the Doomfist, you could have seen this team comp, what, 2 years ago? Well, no, I guess more was about a year and a half ago. So, yeah, again, you could have seen this a long time ago. Rathan doing good things against this Genji. Yeah, that's not going to be a diving Genji. He's going to get away with plays like that very frequently. Rest of VASTA, though, 50% or more outside of Crisis. So they'll have those ultimates on board here soon. Backbone either switches, just switched on over to the Tracer. So looking for a little bit of a divey element to their composition as well. Ida's falling to a cadre of Sheer Cold members, coordinating damage on that. Abs follows suit. And I do believe that VASTA, after taking about 25% on this, will be losing out as they're fighting this one 4-6. That has not happened quite yet, though. Looser falling on the side, main support down for Sheer Cold. This team fight still going on. The longest this goes, the more advantage VASTA's getting.
Yeah, it keeps on going here, and they have to dive, so they can really go in for the stall. Backbone actually swapped deck over to the Tracer after dying first on the Genji to disperse. Now goes down, and it looks like VASTA, with all that stall, is actually coming back on top of it. 50%.
Wow, yeah.
And they even have some ultimates to boot still. This is going to be a good one. You see, Sheer Cold is the team that's having to adapt. They're the ones going over to the McCree now. They need that stun. Otherwise, they're just not able to pin people down, apparently.
Yeah, the Graph and Cowboy here. Yeah, that flashbang for the side of Sheer Cold is going to freeze out multiple members of VASTA. A different pecking order for this Doomfist Eaters and for the Genji disperse because they're gonna have to respect that flashbang. Backbone out with the early Tracer Bob. Nothing gonna land on that one. Rally called by Refid though, and disperse says that don't matter. I got a blade for you. I'll show you it any day of the week.
Well, if they just still go down, Refit, of course, not a brick to be trifled with, and with a rally, it's hard to cut through if you don't have a slash anymore. It's still going to be, though, VASTA in control, last fight territory, and they'll have the sound barrier and the self-destruct and even the meteor strike to do so much damage zoning and get the sustain out that even with that flux and supercharger, I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Refit and company decided to share Cold, not taking a percentage on this yet, as the Diva Bomb is going to take out the supercharger from Shade. Nice boot there, Shade following immediately afterwards to Sheer Cold. Actually not out of this one quite yet. Death from above, attempted from Edis, but Backbone is sitting there just waiting. Crisis, the only member of VASTA sitting between this team and a team kill Bell. Gonna miss it just barely. Julo did spawn in time, but a full 6 kill against VASTA as we're looking at 99-0. Counting up for Sheer Cold, though.
I like that swap towards the Echo as well, because even if you're on the McCree, you're relatively easy to get shut down by like a Genji Tracer combo or Genji Doomfist combo, because you only have that one flash and you're still very immobile. But now that we see this Echo come out, these meltdown tanks as well, we'll go for that 1v1 against Edis, and there's the Tracer help from Backbone. This fight is not really going to start. There's 2 picks coming out very early. Let's go back and spawn a reset. Maybe some stagger kills. But yeah, Grathan is able to wreck on that Echo. And they can see that not just Genji has a very high power level. Echo is still really good if you can pull it off and combine it correctly.
Yeah, I think that Echo is incredibly overpowered, and the ability to copy another player kind of goes against the whole counter-picking thing that Overwatch is built on. But I am not going to go on my tirade this time about that. That's what Twitter is for. Backbone here with a Tracer Bomb against Edis. No Echo on this one for the side of VASTA for now. They're not giving this one up quite yet, though. Abs doing his part to get that healing in, and Chulo now with the Primal Rage getting hits and more against a couple different members, kind of spreading apart Sheer Cold and forcing them to regroup for the time being. Flip did not go on over, excuse me. Sheer Cold still ticking all the way up, 70% or so, as Julo, the main tank for the side of VASTA, deleted. They're looking to get to this one again.
All VASTA had to do was just save ultimates for one last fight. They were on 99%, but they haven't been doing that. Use the Primal, switching Edis back over to the Doomfist. They'll have a Sound Barrier and a Blade, which can get a lot of value, but there's so much more online here for the side of Sheer Cold. 1 fight territory here on Ilios well. This is VASTA trying to fight back.
Yeah, Crisis has the ability to use this offensively, but at the other side will just be a gravitic, or the gravitic flux possibly. A little snooze action there on the. Wow, that sucks. Nano boost completely negated out, right?
They don't get on the point. Explorer was a bit too late to touch that one. That's a shame. I think they were still potentially losing that fight, but there was a good chance there was going to be even enough that stall can come in from dive characters on both teams, especially if that Diva is still there. But going onto Lighthouse, that was a 100-99 point there. It was very close. Yep. One team gets to 99 and the other team runs it all the way back. Very well done from Sheer Cold, finally adapting correctly to the plays there, and getting that Echo out from Grathan. Looks like they won't be starting with that Echo on this point though. I think they'll start with the McCree, expecting maybe something like that's stunnable from the other side. But I like that Disperse is not the one going over to the Doomfist, that Edis on the Tracer. No, they will go Tracer Genji actually. Yeah, and of course, Sheer Cold is sort of left guessing every single time what VASTA's going to do. VASTA seem to be the ones deciding what Sheer Cold has to run, rather than the other way around.
It's always about deciding that tempo and kind of setting the first foot forward, and like you were saying, Sheer Cold been doing a pretty good job of that, especially after allowing the 99. Took it at 100, as close as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. Hula up top, getting a lot of damage on through this kind of wicker fence there. Do like that one. A little bit of intricate knowledge of the map, providing value for this guy. Nicely done. Ida's on point, gonna get it about halfway, and then gets stunned and almost just taken out of this world, sent back to spawn with a smile and a handshake. Alex gonna be the first one to fall in this team fight, though. A couple members of VASTA following suit afterwards. Nice headshots from Looser. This support for the side of Sheer Cold, getting it done indeed. Grathing has his work cut out for him. A lot of damage against him, but Julo actually getting deleted down. Great job from the side of Sheer Cold, backing up their members left and right.
I think it was very, very well done from Sheer Cold, the way they were peeling for each other. You saw Gratham really having to look at 5 different places at once. Because Looser and Refit are right there next to them, they don't actually have to be that worried. It's going to be constant peel, and Backbone getting that early pick on Disperse as well even slows down that offense of VASTA even more.
Yeah, that's a great job to start this early, and especially against an opposing DPS. That's really going to negate out a lot of what VASTA can do. Disperse now will be back with the rest of his team in a little bit. Going to be pushing up this kind of side lane towards point any second now. 50% close to it for Sheer Cold. A lot of ultimates on board, and a different story for VASTA. Really just the tanks and... Oh, no, excuse me. Well, Tracer's basically there. Yeah, actually, my bad. Almost got these teams mixed up again. VASTA has all the ultimates in the world and abilities coming up. No high noon. It is not 12 o'clock for anybody on this one. Gratham pulling that one mostly for his zoning ultimate. 70% now is the Julo Primal Rage looking to get it done. Almost got a boop off on Gratham if he'd gotten the second one, but that is not going to happen. Nothing gained on that one. Close for no cigar. Sheer Cold pushing up against members of VASTA. Really just going to be getting a lot of ult charge at this point. Now 75% mana class.
Yulo's Primal Rages have been a bit lackluster as of late. They even nanoed this one with abs. Yulo now goes over to the Wrecking Ball. Of course, they have to touch in time. It's still, they would be able to make it on a fairly normal level. And Edis on this Reaper is a really interesting switch. Like, how are they going to be able to get in? That's what we're going to look at.
The Brig, you have an invincibility shield against you. You have a McCree as well. Oh my goodness, Explorer with a nice one to start this one off. And I think VASTA just did exactly what they needed to take this here point. Nice spoop there at the end, but the closest percent on ultimate is 30. I don't know. Talk to me about this Edis switch, though.
I mean, the Edis switch, Reaper's all about how do you get in and actually be able to get close to it. And while they can get stunned out by quite a few things, and a lot of it can be eaten by Alex as well, it just provides that extra threat that's a bit harder to deal with all the lifesteal. Yeah. But the main thing, like you said,
the target though.
VASTA is they just don't have any ultimates right now. Like, they just used everything. They had to with last fight.
Oh my!
Do anything.
That was nasty. Looser, and yeah, that was more than just the Looser and the Shade Orisa as well. A lot of kills here for Sheer Cold. I think they just put a bow on top of this one. Attempted high noon coming on out. A little bit of body block action from Alex from his teammate, and just like that, both members of Sheer Cold, the DPS score, get absolutely pop off capability and a lot of benefit added to their team. My question there is, I kind of threw that in, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but who is the target for the Reaper, really? I mean, you're looking, again, they went looking at McCree, and I think at that point, Gratham was, or the other side, excuse me, was, yeah, which is your target, right?
It's meant to pressure out the tanks at that point. Like, you're really looking to get in and make sure that there's an extra element of, I don't really know where the Reaper is, the extra element of once he gets to my face, he does a lot of damage. You want to force out the immortality fields, you want to force out DPS utility, the break stuns, things like that. So he's not so much the guy that needs to get the kills, he's the guy that they need to be afraid of, that he could get the kills.
Okay.
Exactly. Because the Reaper is relatively easy to shut down, but you do still have to pay attention to it. So it can consume certain resources, and then, you know, they would call that out. So they go in, they make them use resources, Wraith form away, then Edis is like, okay, they just use this and this to stop me from doing anything, and then Disperse and Yulo and Explorer, like these more divey characters, they know, okay, so we don't have to worry about that, so we can maybe use ultimate or an ability to get another kill or focus on something else. But we're going into Blizzard World next again, of course, used to that map by now. And VASTA has been pulling out, again, you know, interesting choices, but Sheer Cold is now seem to have their number. So the table flipped after the first point. VASTA Gaming comes in, and they're the ones that have to make the switches to Sheer Cold. And Sheer Cold seems to be back at their element. They were a bit struggling on the first point, but after they said, okay, let's stop playing around. Let's just win this game, go have dinner, and then we'll enjoy our weekend. And, you know, rightfully so. You know, why take longer for a match than you have to over sometimes, right?
I'm with it. I'm with it. Just yeah, the meme fully over. VASTA came through swinging, did not really nice things, putting up 99-0 on the very first point on Helios, but it's just a different story, different narrative through and through after that one. Interesting stuff. Now Blizzard World, I think we're gonna see very similar things to what we've seen already, right? I'd love to hear your predictions, but the mirror compositions with mostly the Ashe and the Genji, you know, a Baptiste in there with your Brig, and then, you know, a Ball, Sigma, you know, Orisa Sigma, something like this. I'd actually be surprised if we saw Ball here. But what were we thinking?
I would be very excited if we saw a Ball here. Like, honestly, we know it can be run because we know that you know, avoid all baseball. Control sometimes, but yeah, Blizzard World has been a fairly meta map. Like, most teams that aren't avoid it have just been playing double barrier, Ashe Genji, Baptiste Brig. It's not something that we're really surprised they're doing because it works very well on a map like this. But there is definitely potential for switching some things up, especially on the attack, where on the attack you often feel like you have to take that very long route to get to the point. If there's a way that you can more quickly do that, maybe use a Lucio rush composition in some way, or use a dive if you really want to, then you're able to get to that point in a more safe way, in a quicker way. You don't burn as much time, you get more fights in, and you might be able to even control the resource game. That being said, though, there's quite some interesting stuff being set up here for VASTA.
Yeah,
they're actually going aggro. Okay, so the thing is, you know that most teams will go through this little room on the bottom. So they're setting up a set defense play based on everyone's set offense play here. And it's exactly what's going to happen. You see them use a teleporter, go underneath, and I don't think they'll be ready for this. There's the wall. There goes the break.
Oh, bye-bye. Refid sent back to spawn, and actually this is VASTA looking for a little bit more as they get aggressive down bottom. They have the Crisis speed boost with which to do it, but just like that, the pressure pushed on 2 point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, in a different part of the galaxy, yeah, that is a free. Oh no, just outside. Okay, that's heartbreaking. Looser deserves that one. I'm writing Blizzard. I'm telling him, you know what, just give him this first tick to sheer cold, because I love it, right? Different things are going down bottom. They fall prey to the, you know, to the classic Maywall, you know, bluff kind of trap, I guess I should say. But one member just realized what the main objective is, right? That's
yeah,
right.
I don't really think they fall for it. It's just that everyone's so used to do that play, they don't even think about it anymore at that point. Yeah. They're just like, we do our standard thing. Okay, if we do our standard thing, then we have something prepared for that. Nice defensive effort. And that'll, of course, have some ult charge in the favor. Backbone close to that full spawn, though. Could be difficult, but not with Kraken going down.
Oh, Alex taken all the way over here, but he's still alive after Backbone comes through with the clutchest of the clutches. A nice sticky bomb takes out not one healer, but a tank as well. Love to see it. Backbone going out after this one, finding 2 more with the tracer guns, just blasting away. Love to see it again. Something I kind of realized here, and I guess maybe this is the reasoning for always having an Ashe, but all over Blizzard World, there is a ledge or some sort of aerial advantage for your Ashes to take, right? There's, like, you know, the super aggressive first point on defense, right, for the Ashe, and then, like, literally right next to point, this entire middle area. You get later, you have ledges, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's high ground on Blizzard World, sure. It usually plays a role. It's interesting that we don't see VASTA trying to hold on the high ground here, but I guess with the Reinhardt, they just want to get in their face as soon as possible, and there they already go straight after Refit, but they'll not get that kill. Actually, the wall does split a few off, so they might still get it, and they do get that Brigitte, which gives them an advantage.
Nicely done. Julo staying alive through the thick of things. You were just as surprised as I was, I believe. Spurs falling here. Some well-placed looser shots. Well, Baptiste action against. Now Backbone with another sticky. I think he's 2 for 2 on sticks so far on this map.
3 for 2 actually. Got a double kill with the last one, then 2 kills.
Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
excuse me. It's been great. Now Backbone has been, as we say, the backbone of sheer cold. You know, their name is holding true, but they haven't really got anything to properly shut them down. The supports are hard to stick down because they're so mobile, and the Mei and the Ashe, to a degree, don't worry that much about a Tracer. But it's still hard because Backbone can just keep farming the pulse bombs such an incredible rate.
Yeah, he just dropped it in 30%, 40% on there just after a single burst. Now we have a Bob and a sound barrier out, and like you said, yeah, Backbone, whenever he engages in team fights, he just gets a sticky bomb. It's going to be a-okay. Nicely done, finishing out Crisis with a punch at the end. Only Shade is the loss for the side of Sheer Cold. This is a team absolutely rolling.
And they keep using ultimates that they're just not getting any value with. No sound barrier value, no blizzard value.
Oh, yeah.
And it's now back over to that Reaper to maybe get something done. And once again, I think what they really want to do is win this frontline battle. Yeah, that was just a stagger spawn. It's hard to get away from that one. But they really want to pressure this frontline out. That's why they play the rush comp. They want to overwhelm this Orisa Sigma combination with that Reaper, Reinhardt, Diva, Lucio, Moira combo, and even the Mei to a degree. But it's just been so hard to get anything done because they constantly get outplayed by Backbone just getting more value in their backline.
That really is the deciding factor here. The Coalescence out first, the side of VASTA trying something on this. And now forcing them back, so good job. VASTA actually kind of taking this one for the time being, but Grathen comes slapping back on this one. Abs is the only one standing between Sheer Cold and a team kill. There's the bell, my friend. It's always a good sound. Been playing Overwatch for years, it never gets old.
Yeah, Sheer Cold's been so good at kiting as well, though. Because they're just not letting themselves get overrun, even with that speed boost. Backbone was holding aggressively, gets spotted out. But there's still that supercharger now. A lot of damage to be able to come out. Backbone can charge that full bomb even quicker. We'll have to back up a little bit, but there's a self-destruct. No,
over the top! It's around. Oh, it looked like it was around a lot, but Lucer got that one out just in the nick of time. Beautifully done, well timed for this support player. 3 minutes and some change. We're looking at a Sheer Cold squad that is in the driver's seat in every way, shape, and form. Another Tracer bomb on point. So goes for the mini Diva, and I'm not against it. Gotta prove out a challenge for yourself, right? At some point. Contesting, but I'm not sure if side of VASTA is going to be able to get back to this one. And if if Sheer Cold does take this with 2.5 minutes plus, you're going to be in a very, very good position coming in the next round of Dave Blizzard World. Back is Explorer, deleted down instantly though. The baby Diva there for the time. I mean, for what? Yeah, a couple seconds. So it was a decent little spawn. Ate a little bit off the clock of Sheer Cold.
Yeah, I like the way that VASTA tried to defend. I think that very first play on the first point was very heads up, but after that they just had nothing to add to any of the fights. They were there, but that's like roughly what happened, right? VASTA just couldn't answer anything that Backbone was doing, and it's such a good front line that they're having. Shade and Alex, together with Lucia and Refit that are supporting them, are just not able to be touched. It's constant aggression. You even saw a beautiful charge coming from Yulo. They got Alex dead to rights, and then Backbone just gets a double kill the Backbone into Pulse Bomb. They use the Immortality Field on Alex, so Alex just stays alive, and they just win the fight anyways. Like, there's so many initiation plays that VASTA are trying to make that Sheer Cold is able to either peel for or kite away from, or both at the same time, like a mix of that. And then still they get off their own attack as well with Backbone, especially, but also with Grathen at times. And it's just VASTA. It's like VASTA's playing a single fight while Sheer Cold is playing two at the same time. And somehow, even with that sort of numbers disadvantage that you would then get mathematically, they're still winning. Like, that's the level what Sheer Cold is playing at right now against VASTA.
Yep. What one team's playing checkers, the other is playing 5D chess, right?
Almost, yeah.
There you go. Disperse on the Widowmaker. Now that's an interesting pick.
Love it. Yeah,
Okay,
nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Nothing to
It
lose,
makes
though.
sense to
Like,
come out,
why not?
try and find the... No, exactly. It makes sense to come out, try and find the hit marker, try and find the head. Didn't find it. The team realized that he was out there, switch on over to Disperse, and now he's going to have his work cut out for him trying to... Wow, okay. I was going to say, have his work cut out for him, trying to match up with the likes of Backbone, but Backbone deleted out early. Team Sheer Cold fighting 5-2-6 for the time being. Julo getting a lot of damage, but getting a lot of pressure as well, so getting his job done. Members of VASTA now rotating on around, getting very low. Eda sees that pocket and sews it up. Down again as Sheer Cold fighting this one 5-6 after DPS is back. Shade done. Alex deleted. Tank core for the side of Sheer Cold sent back to spawn, and VASTA is going to town.
Yeah, VASTA is gonna clean that one up very nicely. Like you said, they got that early kill in the Backbone, and then all of a sudden, that whole backline dynamic that's going on, where they usually like walk around them and then to disrupt their backline a little bit. It's just gone. Like, obviously they're already playing a very different style. They're playing now the more like a dive hybrid, but it's really interesting to see that the way that they're dealing with Sheer Cold now, getting backbone early and then just timing the cooldowns correctly for the shield cooldowns of the enemy team. So Sheer Cold has to step up their game a little bit again, and that's what they're doing. They get dispersed early.
Exactly. Just lining them up, knocking them down over and over. What this is going on here. So 4.5 minutes now. Here comes the Blade. Ida's looking to make this one sing, and Grathen going to be the second to fall after Refid. Shade done as well. The first Blade kill, really, but that's not going to matter. It's a team-based game.
Yeah, team-based game. Can't always 1v6. It's been a while since we've seen people actually 1v6 in Overwatch. I think that was a thing in the beginning, but it's just not been possible anymore with the way that the metas and the heroes have all been developing. The time to kill is just a bit too short now. Looking at VASTA though, I don't know. They got the stones. They got definitely got the resources, but Loser wins that Baptiste 1v1, so that will be a bit of a slowdown.
With it. Up top again, nice one coming out. That sticky bomb got landed, so we'll count it, but Disperse got that one negated out by the invincibility field. Well timed by this Baptiste player. Now, Looser did not live through it ultimately, but that just really came off the back of some very solid VASTA play.
VASTA has been doing very well on their attack, and they're still making good time. They're still actually capable of beating the time make of Sheer Cold, and 2 minutes 38 is a pretty nice time for Blizzard World. Imagine if you're able to beat that one against Sheer Cold that has just been popping so far. Sheer Cold, though, they'll have some ultimates. They finally adjusted their composition, and they're starting to come online. So Grathen, Alex, and Shade are already looking to start stopping this offense from coming through in the momentum. And that's the first fight win. That they break the momentum, hopefully, with that. Looks like my co-caster has failed to realize that he's muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Yep, that happens. Hate to see it. I was just saying, 4.5 minutes is loads of time, right? No, there's not another opportunity for them to get more time because they have gone through this first point. But really, it's going to be a tall order trying to stop this one out. Even if you have 2.5 minutes, it's just so much time. 4 minutes is. A lot of ultimates on board here for the side of VASTA. And Disperse to be very close to that one. Nicely done. Grathen just flicking away here, getting these McCree shots left and right.
No, but Tugboat, their spawn is further forward than they're fighting. Like, why are...
This is true.
Why is VASTA back in their first spawn? And this is not okay. Sheer Cold are actually just bullying them at this point. They're just pushing them apart and saying, if you want to fight as a team, you're going to have to go through us first. And this is not happening, but there is this person, Edis, finally trying to get some value out of those ultimates. And they get some kills, so at least DPS is down. That's a lot of missing for Sheer Cold, but they're still fighting on the start.
You guys, Bandit Class can see my face, and that's why he's laughing, because I'm just at a loss for words right now. Like you said, VASTA fighting this really wonky kind of two-tiered fight, you know, different sides here. It ends up mattering. It ends up providing them value, right? They did lose a couple players, but on the spawn side, they just came back right on over there, and the continued pressure yielded to Sheer Cold falling. Now Alex on over towards the Hog. I think the idea here is for the pulls across pit where Payload is going across right now, or going right by now.
I think the idea is to have some fun here, honestly. I don't know why you would go for the Roadhog, but I really like that they're doing it anyways. Like, honestly, Alex,
I mean, pulled pork
over here.
Yeah, the Orisa Hog combination has been fun since Orisa's inception quite a long time ago now, actually. Been a little while in the game. And God knows she has been present in a lot of different compositions since. 2.5 minutes. Rolling away as VASTA.
Yeah, they're not quite gonna get the gonna get the point at the same time as Sheer Cold, but they're actually getting quite close. Alex comes back on the Wrecking Ball now. We'll be able to touch, smack a few people up in the air, and there is the Halt combo.
Here comes the Blade, singing it out in the Mortality Field first. Comes 12 o'clock, Grathen trying to change the time. Not gonna happen. Ida's with a kill there towards the end of his Dragon Blade. Jila's got that Primal Rage. He's trying to get it going, throw his weight around a little bit, and that's going to matter for the healing core of Sheer Cold. That is gone, dusted, sent back to spawn. We'll see them again in this team fight, maybe. No guarantee on that one. 1 minute 50, and this is VASTA still holding on here. Contest comes through from the defense, not going to matter. 1 minute 49 on the clock, 2:38 looking at the other side.
Almost a minute of difference, about 50 seconds. So it's still a nice difference to work with. It's about 1 extra fight on that first point if you're not able to break it. But yeah, VASTA still showing that they're not quite out of it yet. I do question though how seriously Circle is playing. I mean, you switch over to the Roadhog of all picks. That does mean we've seen Roadhog played in trials. It's happened. There is a pick rate statistic now. But let me see. What haven't we seen yet? I think we haven't seen Sombra yet. Actually, no, we did.
No, we saw Sombra. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen Sombra.
We've seen Symmetra's used, which counts. Even if it's just for the beginning. No, actually, you and I casted Symmetra's actually being used on Busan. It's actually
been played as well. Yeah.
Yeah, on Busan. Yeah, I remember a little downtown action. Let me think. We saw Soldier flank. You and I did at some point briefly. Yeah. May definitely. Fair, obviously, all day long for the avoided squad. Zenyatta, I don't think we have. Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pull.
The one. But then again, like Zenyatta, I think Zenyatta is not bad in the current meta. It's just he's a bit class cannon. You can do a lot of extra damage with it. It's like you have a supercharger with you on a certain target or a mercy damage boost, but it does require you to keep that Zen safe, and with all the double shields going on, it's hard to get those damage orbs down. It helps shutting down DPS, but that's usually all it's really good for, with all the sustain and shields that are in the way for everything else.
A very apt analysis, really. Glass Cannon, the best way to describe that one, right? His charge up capabilities are so high, but of course you have to land those headshots. Thinking about it, I think that's all the DPS characters. Hanzo maybe, but I can't exactly remember if that half of the Shimado brothers duo has. We have.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, yeah, so that's pretty much everybody except for Zenyatta. I know for sure I have not seen Zenyatta on our Contenders EU trials here presented by the good folk at Monkey Bubble. A lot of time spent kind of feeling these two out. Grathan falling as we see Team VASTA getting pretty aggressive on there. I think that's a fair way to state that one. Explorer getting punished for his aggression individually up front. That is what Maze will do 9 times out of 10 and twice on Sundays. Big freezes coming up against Crisis. Sheer Cold getting frozen out on this.
Eventually, it looks like Sheer Cold will win out this fight. They just keep getting kill after kill very slowly. So they're just sort of stalling out this fight. Maybe on purpose, maybe by accident. But if they're doing it on purpose, they're just buying time. This could have been a 3-fight row here for VASTA. But now they're going to have 1 fight left. They'll have some ultimates in the bank. They do switch over Explorer. They want to initiate with some sort of bubble play. That's the only reason why you pick Zarya here. You're going to make some type of play where you bubble somebody for extra sustain, for extra resource expenditure for Sheer Cold.
Yep.
And now the question is, who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Blade, or is it going to be Yulo on the Winston? Or maybe
that's definitely going to be, yeah, I was going to say, that's going to be the Tracer, just given the deflect capabilities. But that really depends on whether or not Rally comes out as well. Crisis really going to want that one out before things get too hairy here. Yulo not able to hit the Primal. Grathan makes mincemeat of him and sends Edis back to spawn as well. No ultimates for you, my friends. I believe with that, we have seen a VASTA squad that has failed in their attack. They're still holding on a little bit, but there's multiple members that still have ultimate. Sheer Cold still fighting a full 6 on this one as the Gridovik Flux does come through. Alex getting value from this one. And now with that, Sheer Cold, all they gotta do is 1 single tick in 2.5 minutes, man of class.
Yeah, we always say that it ain't over until it's over, but that's pretty much done and dusted. There is still a possibility, though, that this full hold also comes out from
and that would be the tie. That'd be the tie that we asked for, right?
That would be the tie we asked for. But knowing Sheer Cold, they only needed a second attempt here on their attack to get that first point. First time they obviously got stopped by that set play on the defense. I don't think we're gonna see that again. I don't think we're gonna be seeing the mid play come out again. Of course, our producer giving us a bit of a
suggestions,
maybe suggestions to a Sheer Cold, play nice, play fair. I mean, they're playing fair, maybe not nice though. Like, I do definitely think I've been a little bit disrespectful to a degree.
Oh,
but then again,
Bastion.
But yeah, Bastion. But that's VASTA.
Did we see Bastion?
We haven't seen Bastion, I think.
There you go.
We have. No, I remember Bastion being. Someone mentioned that Bastion was being played yesterday, I think. We saw Pirate Ship come on.
Which map would it have been? On Route 66?
Yeah, I think Route 60 Pirate Ship, I heard someone say, but it might have been NA trials, so I'm not completely sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm
those wonky guys over there in North America. Who would ever do that?
I'm fairly certain it won't be EMEA, though. But we will see AD pulling this out. Of course, if you're going for the Hail Mary hold, a Bastion is a fairly standard, well, a fairly logical pick. Will be expected, though, because they're coming out with Grathan on this Echo. You can burst down a Bastion before they even know you're there as an Echo.
Yeah, that'll be tough breaks. That does happen, but like you said, there's no reason to not dump everything out the tank. This is a VASTA squad looking up at a rock and a hard place, as they say. Double shields will be there for that. 3 if you count Crisis, and kind of 4 if you count the Maywall. Abs will be there for the Immortality field as well, so this will live and die on Ediz's Bastion turret. Not the tank formation, not the sentry formation, but the turret form specifically. Full rotations coming through. Sheer Cold is here. I do believe they have sniffed out this Ediz play and are just trying to avoid that as much as possible. Now, coming down from up top, team moving on along, and Maywall invested from back, no, not from backbone, excuse me, from Disperse, trying to get a little bit of cover for his squad. Nice job sectioning out this Sigma Explorer. Not going to be doing much exploring now, unless it's in that spawn room back ways. Ediz following as well. I think this defense has been cracked.
Yeah, they forced them off the point as well with those last few members. Sheer Cool picking up the duo. Not unexpected, but still they had to do it first, you know, and they were in a little bit of trouble here and there, you know. VASTA gets to complete the entire Blizzard world. They almost won that first point of Ilios, so VASTA showing some promise there, but we do have to question how much of that is VASTA playing well and how much is that Sheer Cold just messing about a bit, because a few of those picks, few of those ways they played about looked a little bit too relaxed, a little bit too, you know, we got this, we don't have to try. And yeah, and that's sometimes that's fine. Sometimes you're like, sure, you know, that's how that goes. But yeah, that's we can ask them. You know, we're gonna get an interview soon, so we'll probably be able to ask them. Before we go to the interview, though, a last reminder: you can still have a little bit of time to send in those glad for tier 2 memes. Do it. Hashtag glad, of course, in the word FOR T2, letter T2. Send in some image, meme, video, anything you make content-wise. Put the hashtag on Twitter with it, and we might give you a Gladiators jersey, of course, courtesy of the LA Gladiators, or one of the 2 homestand spray codes that we have to give away. With that, though, we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we'll have an interview with Loser on the side of Sheer Cold.
Hello and welcome back, esports fans. We are here live after the matchup between VASTA and Sheer Cold with the last day of the EU Contenders presented by Monkey Bubble. I'm FBI Tugboat, man of class over there. We got a Sheer Cold member, that's Looser, down here in the box with us for an interview. Looser, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Really happy with the victory.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So going to jump right on in here, and I think the question that I know is on my mind and mine of class's mind, but the Roadhog pick, was this a full meme? Was this something else that you guys are trying out? What hit me with it? What's going on?
Well, the enemy was just running a lot of random stuff. So to be honest, we were a little bit flustered on what to do because they were just running random heroes, random comps. So yeah, we thought, let's whip out the Roadhog. Why not?
There you go. Yeah, give it a try. I'm with it. So moving on, just want to kind of ask, obviously you said you feel real good. That makes sense. Sheer Cold is going to be in Contenders after you have secured up one of your top 2 slots in the Group A, or Group B, excuse me. So I just want to ask, how you feel about the future, and either plans for the team, anything else that you guys are going for, or specifically anything else that you guys wanted to work on.
Well, for the future, obviously we're aiming for top 2 in Contenders.
Yes, sir.
Not looking to beat Beta Shuriken anytime soon, but yeah, we're just looking to do as well as we can in Contenders. And as for the Trials result, obviously we expected it completely. No surprise there.
I like the confidence.
Fair enough.
Like the confidence. And so wanted to ask as well, your matchup with the other Baptiste, there was a lot of back and forth there. Any thoughts on that? How the other guy was performing? How you felt about your kind of individual matchup between the other main healer?
Well, obviously I think I'm a little bit better than him, but he did great. I think it just was a bit of a difference in comp where they ran the Winston, which doesn't really give him a front line, and we do. But other than that, I think he abs did great. I love him.
Gotcha. Nice and done. Well, short, sweet, and to the point. Man of class, you got anything else?
No, I think I've just been enjoying Sheer Cold's performance a lot. Of course, like you said, the result was very much expected to a degree, but you guys still had some close matches against Avoided and Roar, for instance. Yeah, of course, there's going to be potentially some new teams joining you guys in Contenders, so other teams coming up into Trials maybe in the future. So I'm guessing with this new rotation speed, where everything just rotates through a bit quicker, yeah, you're gonna get to know a lot of new players, and I don't know if that's like exciting for you, or whether you're more worried about, oh, but then we have to prep for so much more, or like how that's going for you guys.
The only team I'm really worried of in that sense is Avoided, because they are the masters of running random stuff and just complete chaos when you play against them. Like, you don't know what's happening. For yeah, that's the only team that I'm where that applies. But other than that, I think we're good against every other team.
Oh, yeah. Well, except for British Hurricane, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least we're honest. At least we're honest. Makes a lot of sense. Obviously, a well-established team as well. But you guys doing very, very well. Congratulations on your performance. I want to thank you for coming on in here and giving us a couple minutes of your time after the game, and ask you, Looser, if there's anything else you wanted to plug. Any Twitches, Twitters, anything like this?
Just follow me on Twitter, Twitch, whatever.
Okay.
But thanks for having me.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
no
But did you want to spell it out or tell us what it was on Twitter?
Just Looser_OW. That's it on both Twitch and Twitter.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah, the underscores can mix things up sometimes. But yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on in.
Right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Sir. Solid matchup between VASTA and Sheer Cold. Sheer Cold taking this one 2-0 in their last matchup of the Contenders EU. So I want to give a shout out here to our producer, Senza and Reef down there in producer's box, helping us out and making things just so much easier for us as casters. Really does a world of difference, and we appreciate it. I do believe, though, that we have reached my least favorite part of any broadcast, Man of Class, and that, of course, is the end. I'm FBI Tugboat, here joined with Man of Class. We appreciate you guys watching, and be looking at Sheer Cold and other teams in these EU Contenders trials to do big, flashy, fiery things in this next season of Contenders. And the guys who didn't make it in, the other, I guess 7 teams of these 11, and what they'll do in the offseason, and then what they'll do again when Contenders trials comes back up. It'll be here before we know it, guys. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time, and there might actually be some action going on in the other stream, right, Man of Class?
Yeah, I think that might still be going, and I don't actually, I don't even remember which game that is. That's just how that is sometimes. But yeah, just go over to the other stream. It's still in the same channel, so you can just go back to the channel, find the other stream. And of course, next weekend is also Open Division. Tomorrow we're starting on Monkey Bubble as well with the European Broadcast Coordination Corporation European Regional Trial qualifiers. So there's a lot of Overwatch content to come, starting tomorrow at 3:30 CEST, and next weekend, of course, Open Division, both EU and NA, and we'll be covering that through Monkey Ball Reflash as well. That will both be on Twitch, so no more YouTube for you. Although a nice platform, I don't mind it. It's all great. But we'll see you hopefully in that one. And Tugboat, thanks for casting.
Thanks for casting with me too, Metaclass. I really do enjoy it. Last two things here, guys. Again, we're a little giveaway action. Just want to give this out for anybody who might have tuned in a little bit later. Hashtag glad for tier 2 or T2. That's GLAD, like the LA Gladiators. For FOR, not the number, and then T2, 2 being the number, not spelled out there. You put that hashtag on there with some content, some kind of static image, a GIF, a full-on meme. Again, this is us asking you, the Overwatch community, to make memes. We know you're good at it. You attach that on there, you'll enter yourself in a drawing for a little contest, little drawing action for an LA Gladiators jersey, the big one, or one of 2 homestand skins provided again from the LA Gladiators. Big shout out to them. That is pretty much it. I'm FBI Tugboat. You can find me over on Twitter at FBI_Tugboat. And if I remember right, that's at manofclassow. No underscores, no spaces, obviously, no nothing, right? There you go. If you enjoyed the casting, guys, go ahead and follow us away. We'll be spitting fire till the day we die. Thanks for watching. We'll tune in. See you guys next time.